I have not been paying much attention to my channel. With only 7 uploads, I feel like I disappointed everyone who watches my videos and the ones who are subscribed to my channel. I know I haven't posted in 4 weeks, but that's because I'm writing scripts, researching, and partly because I'm a procrastinator. And since the World Cup has officially begun, well, that's also why I haven't posted. But now this video will ask a question few people are answering. Is the iPad 9th generation still worth it in 2026? Ever since the release of the iPad in 2010, it has been completely different in the last few years. What started as a big phone is now almost the equivalent of a Mac thanks to the M-series chips that Apple keeps shoving into their iPads. Yet, there is one generation that intrigued me the most. The iPad 9th generation. The last iPad to have the Touch ID sensor and the last one to have the headphone jack. Yet, my question begs, is it still worth it in 2026? Well, yes and no. Let me explain. The iPad 9th Gen released in 2021 and came with the A13 Bionic chip that the iPhone 11 shares. The device is still useful for basic consumption like Netflix, YouTube, and light video games. One of the reasons why you might be looking to get the iPad 9th Gen is probably your budget. If you're on a really tight budget, the iPad 9 is a great choice. On eBay, you can manage to find an iPad in good condition for around $100 to $150. Just make sure that the battery health is around 80% or higher. Another reason why you might want the iPad 9th Gen is because it's student friendly. It supports the first Apple Pencil, which charges in a really weird way, but you'll get used to it. It also supports the Smart Keyboard, making it a decent digital notepad for school. And look, we all know that kids tend to drop things, which makes the third reason a reasonable one. Because the 9th Gen is so cheap, it doesn't break the bank compared to a newer model, and because the 10.2-inch design was around for years, you could buy a kid-proof case with handles. Now for the cons. Now the cons technically outweigh the pros, and it's the same story like before. Now before I digress, I should say that this video is intended to teach you whether this specific device is a good buy or not. The first con is obviously the RAM problem. This iPad has only 3 GB of RAM, and with modern apps and web pages becoming more heavier, you will notice that the device will sometimes lag and even become more slow. The second con is that Apple has transitioned to USB-C across every lineup. You will be stuck charging this iPad with a lightning cable, and to put it lightly, it's kind of a pain in the ass to have 2 different cables for different devices. And software. With the iPhone 11 being the last supported iPhone on iOS 27, the same could probably be said for the iPad 9th generation. Both devices are running on the A13 Bionic chip and the 3 GB of RAM. So, in conclusion, the iPad 9th Gen is a great device for a kid, but it's not ideal if you're looking at an iPad that can last 3 to 4 years. With all due respect, the iPad 9th Gen has been a great device, but I recommend getting a slightly newer iPad like the 11th Gen or an iPad Air that has an M-based chipset. Overall, the iPad 9 is a good pick for kids, but I will never forget that 3.5mm jack. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, as I put a ton of effort into my videos. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next time.